let's move on to a brighter topic, and that is Music Monday. Guys, it's Music Monday, and I do have some things to report on. First of all, something pretty cool. One of my stops was Manchester, which Manchester, if you've never been there and you like post-punk music, you like the Smiths, you like the Stone Roses, the Happy Mondays, the Buzzcocks, go to Manchester. Do yourself a freaking favor and go to Manchester. So here's the way I describe Manchester. If you've ever been to Nashville, Tennessee, and you know how Nashville, and I love Nashville. I used to live there. I lived there for 3 years. Joy Division, Mike S., thank you. Joy Division 2. Nashville revolves around country music in many ways. They have all music represented there, believe me, but country music is still kind of the elephant in the room, if you will. Manchester is like Nashville, except substitute punk rock and post-punk and electronic music too, as Tim points out, the birth of rave. Substitute that for country, and that's what Manchester is. Manchester is freaking awesome. I fell in love with that city. Yeah, I'll be honest, especially seeing all the news in the States when I got back, part of me was like, what if I had a music show on the BBC and lived in Manchester? Like, the thought went through my mind, not gonna lie. I fell in love with that city. So, I went to Manchester, and it was, we just did one day in Manchester, my fiance and I. She was girlfriend at the time. I hadn't proposed yet. Didn't propose until Scotland. I went to England first. So anyway, my then girlfriend, now fiance, we went to Manchester. Everywhere is a record store or a venue/bar. It's amazing. And there's this place called Affleck's, which is just this 4-story shopping center where everything is just punk rock. It's so cool. So we had a wonderful time, and there were a couple things we wanted to see. Daniel pointed out that the Salford Lads Club, we actually went there the next day. The Salford Lads Club is it's just a lads club, which is just a club for young males, and it's to kind of keep them out of trouble, and they play sports and stuff like that. That's my understanding of it, at least. We don't really, I guess a YMCA would be a similar thing that we have in the United States, and a YWCA as well. And I'm assuming they have girls' clubs too. I don't know, but the Lads Club, the drummer from the Smiths was a member of it, so there is a legendary Smiths cover that is a picture of them in front of the Lads Club, so it kind of became an infamous spot. And I did go to the Lads Club, and my then girlfriend, now fiance, took a picture of me in front of it, and it was kind of a big deal. And Patricia, yes, I certainly went down Oldham Street, and I freaking loved it. Down Oldham Street, at least I think it might have been a street off of Oldham, but I think it's on Oldham, there is a kind of music walk in Manchester, kind of like the Hollywood Star Walk that we have here in Los Angeles, except it's way smaller than that, but way freaking cooler, in my opinion. And they have different blocks for different bands, and they're very subtle, but the Buzzcocks have a block, the Stone Roses have a block, and the BBC, some of the BBC shows have a block. It was really freaking cool. That night, one of the things we wanted to check out on our Manchester music tour was the Ritz. The Ritz is a legendary venue in Manchester. The Smiths had their first show there. I believe it was smaller back when the Smiths had their first show there. And it has since been expanded, but, you know, either way. So, and I said to my girlfriend, then girlfriend, now fiance, I'll stop doing it. It's probably annoying. I apologize. I'm excited, you know. Don't hate me. But, I said to my fiance, I said, wouldn't it be cool if something was playing at the Ritz that we'd like to go see? And lo and behold, there was. We looked up what was going on at the Ritz that night. Turns out there was a big Manchester folk music festival in town the night we were there. Well, it was going on for a couple nights, but we were there one night, and it was going on that night. And who was playing? Beans on Toast was playing. For those of you that were into my old music podcast, 5 Chords and the Truth, Beans on Toast was one of the bands that we covered. Well, it's not a band, it's a guy. But was one of the artists that we covered. Somebody sent me Beans on Toast. Now, I apologize. I don't remember who sent me Beans on Toast. But if you are that person, please email me. I'll try to find that email. Although it might have been something that someone just tweeted to me. I can't remember. I didn't do the best keeping track of records of who sent me what when we were doing the 5 Chords and the Truth stuff. So if you were the person that introduced me to Beans on Toast, please email me because you're awesome. So Beans on Toast is a guy out of the UK. He's a folk singer. He's satirical. He's funny. He's political. And he's a great storyteller. He's kind of in the vein of like a John Prine, a Todd Snyder, a Kimya Dawson, that sort of thing, a little bit anti-folky. You know I love that stuff. I celebrate that stuff. And so, yeah, Beans on Toast. If you haven't, please check him out. He's out of the UK. To my knowledge, he hasn't toured the States yet a whole lot. I did get to talk to him briefly. He did an amazing show. And he did a show with a band called Skinny Lester, who is a Celtic punk band out of the UK. I don't know if they're really known at all in the United States. And that's a freaking crime because they rocked the joint. They were freaking awesome. Some of the best Celtic punk I've ever heard. And, wow. Awesome show. Awesome freaking show. Skinny Lester and Beans on Toast. And, you know, I mentioned my girlfriend's from the Boston area, which she is. And, you know, at one point during Skinny Lester's set, she turned to me and she said, these guys are kind of like Dropkick Murphys. And I said to her, I was like, yeah, except way better. I mean, come on, they're way better. And she kind of was like, brr. And I was like, you know, and I used to listen to Dropkick, don't get me wrong. But, you know, if you're going to be a punk band and you go around singing the national anthem and have songs celebrating cops, you lost me. Sorry, you lost me. We're a punk band and the cops are great. No, you know the cops tried to shut down. You know, if it wasn't for people putting up with harassment from cops, you wouldn't have been able to do what you did, Dropkick Murphys. Do you know that? You know that, right? Go read something Henry Rollins wrote. If you want to be like, cops are great and we're punk rock. No, no, that would be like, ICE is great and we're broccoli. You know, it doesn't, no. So anyway, Eric O makes a fun analogy. It would be like NoFX saying it's okay to ban skating. So, anyway, Skinny Lester was great. Way better than the Dropkick Murphys, in my humble opinion. And Beans on Toast was phenomenal. I talked to him a bit after. Hopefully he's going to come on a Music Monday. I talked to him for a bit, and he goes, I told him, I was like, hey, man, so how do you like this? I am in town for one night only. First of all, great show, I said to the guy, because he did a phenomenal set. Again, please check him out. Beans on Toast. Check him out. You'll thank me. I promise you. I was like, hey, great set. And I go, look, I'm based in the United States. I run a podcast there. And somebody introduced me to your music. We talk about music and politics. We're a music politics podcast. And someone introduced me to your music. I was, of course, was referring to 5 Chords and the Truth. But, you know, we still do music here on Get Your News On with Ron. And I've been listening to you ever since, which is totally true. And I was like, dude, I'm in town for one night only, trying to see all the music sites in Manchester. And to my very pleasant surprise, you were playing. And he goes, well, great timing. And I was like, yeah, bro, it's freaking awesome timing. And he's like, drop me an email, I'll do your podcast. And I was like, awesome. And yeah, so I'm going to email him. Hopefully I'll get him on the show soon. In the meantime, check him out. So you guys got some great questions for him when we get him. Because he's awesome. And that was, man, our Manchester. So then after the show, they announced an after party. And right down the street from the venue, there was this all-night pool hall. still in existence. I forget what it was called, but it's this all-night pool hall. It's open all night. Beers are £2. And me and my then girlfriend, now fiance, went to this place, and we were like, hell yeah, this was so cool. Just pool tables everywhere, and it was such a true British punk rock experience. £2 beers, £2 Guinness, and man, Manchester, you fucking rule. Where have you been all my life? I'm in love with you. And I think I want to play a show there soon. So I definitely hope to be back to the UK very, very soon, and hope to do a show there. Very much so. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your